Well, Cate Frenzy has returned. But we're kinda in a new set now. How do you like it? We may be in a new set, but that doesn't mean that the pile is gone. Unfortunately, the pile has gotten bigger. What am I gonna do? Alright, welcome to this week's episode. I am so excited for today's figure because it is something that I've wanted for a very long time and it's finally here and I'm so excited to open it. I am all decked out in Luna wear today, so today's figure is the My Little Pony Bishoujo Princess Luna from kotobukiya. And this one got pushed back quite a bit, so like the fact that it's out now is so exciting. I'm just gonna open up the box and let's get this review started. So as usual, this one came from Ami, and we have a Christmas postcard this time. Check that out. Ho 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 ho. So very fun. Merry Christmas! I still don't know the name of these girls. Alright, let's get this open. We're gonna pop this. Okay. So, the pile is even bigger now because like the end of the year figures came in and now there's like 4 other figures in my pile, so this is gonna suck. I'm running out of space in this little room. I need to put these guys somewhere. Alright, ooh, so it's covered in plastic wrap. Oh, this box already looks impressive. Whoa, whoa. I was not expecting this. What the? Wait. Oh, it's so shiny. Wow, look at that. It's got holographic on it. What? That's dope. Whoa, they like took all the time and effort on this. No wonder. Oh, it's so shiny. Wow, this, I don't even want to open this now. It's so pretty. Okay, well, let's talk about the box. So for the My Little Pony Bishoujo box, we have this amazing box that's holographic. There's pictures of Luna on the front. There's this huge window in the front that's really gorgeous, showing off Luna in all her glory. And then on the top, we have this amazing like moon thing. It kind of looks like the card captor seal. It's very cool. There's also a window up there too. It says My Little Pony Bishoujo statue Princess Luna. Turn it this way so it's properly read. Ooh, on this side, it's got the stars and the nameplate and an open window. Oh my god, and on this side, there's a like stained glass. Now in My Little Pony, the stained glass is like a motif they have in the castle. There's murals of events that have happened in Ponyville and in Canterlot, I guess. Each event has its own little panel. And this is the Shunya Yamashita art. And in the back, we have a gorgeous picture of Luna. This one actually has pictures of what's inside the box. The bottom is just like your general information. So overall, this looks like it got some inspiration from like card captors and clamp a little bit in terms of the box design. And I'm loving that. I'm so up for the clamp design. You know what? This box is gonna get a perfect 10 out of 10. This is a gorgeous box. Love it. It's so nice. Okay, let's move on to like the packaging inside the box. So let's just take this out. Okay, so we have tape up top. I'm gonna use a slightly sharper scissor for this one. Okay, there's only one sticker on the top of the box. The inside of the box is actually like little wings too. That's super awesome. That is some detail. Yeah, this box definitely needs to get 10 out of 10. This is amazing. Let's bring Luna out. The inside of the box is iridescent. We have all sorts of shiny bits. So Luna herself comes in a clamshell box with 2 sides, 3 pieces of tape holding her inner box. And for the clamshell, there's multiple buttons down here and over here as well. So this is very secure. It does the Bishoujo thing where it shows her face open. I'm sure by now most of you have seen my reviews enough to know that I don't really like that, but that's just how the package now. So that's how it is. Okay, so we're gonna pop this open. I'm gonna do it safely, not like that. So Luna is packaged in a lot of plastic wrap. She has a bag up top, and then she also has a bag up here covering her hair. This is always a good sign. Protects that gorgeous, gorgeous hair. Ooh. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is so solid. Okay. All right. Packaging first. Okay. There's other Luna. She's also in a bag as well. Her hair is not protected. So we have the other Luna. Okay. So packaging wise, you have your bags, you have your plastic, and then you also have your general bubble wrap and the packaging paper it came in. I'm just not a fan of this thing. I do prefer having like bubble wrap as a cushion rather than just plastic bags. Packaging will get an 8 out of 10. Okay, let's talk about her stats. So Princess Luna comes from us from the My Little Pony series, Friendship is Magic, and the figure itself is part of the My Little Pony Bishoujo line by Shunya Yamashita and produced by kotobukiya. The release date was December 4th of 2021 this year. It was pushed back about 6 or 7 months or so, and it is in the 1/7 scale with a height of about 9.2 inches. The width is about 4.4 inches and the length is about 6.5 inches. It cost me $185.28 Canadian plus an import tax fee of $25. So it was well over $200. It was quite expensive to import her in. So let's talk about the paint and the sculpt for Princess Luna. Wow, this figure, it is crazy impressive. Just looking at it, I am so excited to talk about this figure because there's so many cool things about this figure. Let's start off with the hair. The hair on this figure is very impressive. Now, it is twice as heavy as another Bishoujo because I believe that this piece is one solid cast of like clear PVC, and like when you hold her, she's definitely way heavier than the other My Little Pony figures, and that's pretty insane because it's such a big piece of plastic. The coolest thing about this is that it's actually translucent, but it's kind of hard to tell because it's so thick. But I'm pretty sure the pony version also has the same plastic. There is a difference in color with the dark blue part of the hair, but I think that's due to the fact that this one's thicker and this one is a bit lighter. So I think it is the same color. It does look slightly different in comparison. You can see like this one seems to look a lot darker than this one does. But then again, this one feels a lot more translucent than this one does. As well as the purple on this one, which is the Equestria Girl version compared to the white version or the light blue color on the pony version. This is more show accurate, while this one is more accurate to the Equestria Girls version of Princess Luna. Now in the Equestria Girls version, Princess Luna is drawn up as the vice principal of the school that they attend. In this version we have here for Bishoujo, she is a hot goth chick. And that is the best way to present her because Luna definitely would be wearing something like this if she were in human form. They do pull different aspects of her design of the pony form into this design, like for instance her crown. So Luna's crown actually has the moon in it as normal, but there's also 3 little studs up top in the black piece. And that's a nice little design motif to make it look a little bit more elaborate. Her face is pretty cool because on the box, let me just pull out the box again. She looks very cute in this picture, not mysterious. Compared to the actual figure itself, the face of this figure actually looks a lot more mature and sultry, I would say. It's definitely because of the curve of the eye. It's definitely more slanted, giving it more of a sultry, seductress kind of look. to make her not look so young because Luna is quite old. I mean, she's at least 1,000 years old. If you know the lore of My Little Pony, you know that Luna got sent to the moon for 1,000 years, and she's definitely really old, just like her sister Celestia. The faces in the art and the faces in the figure tend to look slightly different in some aspects. Sometimes they're like bang on, sometimes they're a little bit changed, and that's always a good thing because sometimes they're like, I don't know, the art's good, but maybe we want her to have more personality, so this face is really awesome for that reason. So I really enjoyed the face. She does have her signature green eyes, and the thing you probably notice right at the bat is that this Luna also has more of a tan skin color or a dark skin tone. So Luna does have a darker skin tone in the show, so it's good to see that they're representing that in the model itself. It also allows for there to be variation in these figures because most of these shoujos have a peach skin tone, and as we know nowadays, it's really nice to see representation in these figures because we don't get much variety from Japan usually. So having the darker skin tone really speaks to a little bit of diversity, especially within this show. The thing with this figure is that it has a really alluring darkness to her, which is what's so nice about this Bishoujo. It's very refreshing. There's not many other Bishoujos that remind me of this. I think maybe like Batwoman and Huntress are pretty close to that dark feel. Even the other darker characters like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, they're more brighter and colorful, so having a darker Bishoujo is very good in my books and really sets her apart from the other figures. As we move down the body, we can see that her hands have a lot of motion in them. They're not just like this, they're actually like spread out, which is really nice and makes it look really clean. And then we have her awesome choker that also has the moon on it as well. The moon choker is really a nice touch. It kind of reminds me of like the stuff you would see in Harajuku fashion. This is definitely pulled from the Lolita fashion that they have in Japan because of the way they have the choker, they have the corset, they have like the sleeves that are semi-translucent as if they're nylon. And I really appreciate the fact that they decked her out in this way. It makes her look really pretty. I appreciate all the little details like the translucent arm sleeve and also the blue matching alongside of the pony figure. That's also a great little touch. I like the fact they gave her a corset. They could have done anything else, but giving her a corset just adds the whole gothic feel of Luna, and it's so nice to have. They could have just made this a single black dress or a blue dress, but giving it a corset gives it a little bit of offset, and that is kudos to Shunya Yamashita for designing that. I also like the fact, now this is definitely something that can be controversial, but I do like the fact that this Luna is not crazy busty. Normally with Bishoujos and stuff, they tend to make them really busty, and sometimes it's a little distracting. Now there is nothing wrong with having a larger bust naturally, but in terms of anime figures and anime girls, there's always been a discussion about how they're quite sexualized by giving them bigger breasts, giant hips, and you know, pouty lips and like really thin bodies. And I do like the fact that with this figure, they kind of went the modest route. As with most of the My Little Pony Bishoujos, they have quite a modest bust, and I think that's actually kind of nice because like sometimes these figures can be greatly exaggerated, and sometimes it makes people uncomfortable. I know sometimes when I'm looking at models, I will see figures that have humongous breasts, and you're just kind of like, man, I would be scared to show that in my house because it feels like I'm a creep. And because it's not the fact that they have humongous breasts, but it's the way they're designed and the way that they're like posed that makes it look really sexualized. So that's something that I'm more aware of nowadays, especially with these figures. I think a lot of figures are starting to pull back on that, and that's kind of nice to see the industry slowly changing, but it's going to be a long uphill battle from now. So let's move on to talking about the dress. The dress has multiple layers. You can see amazing amounts of layers. There's also a little moon signifying her cutie mark. The cutie mark symbolizes the fact that she raises the moon at night, while her sister Celestia raises the sun. They have control over goddamn planets, and it's kind of crazy. So like about 10 years ago, you know, you're seeing all these internet memes about Fluttershy meeting Pinkie Pie, and like the Twilight faces and like Celestia with bananas, and you're like, what the hell is this shit? And you look it up and you find there's this little children's show meant for ages 3 to 8 or whatever, that there is this little show that people are memeing, and you're like, why are people watching this? So then of course you get curious and you start watching it, and then you're like, ha, this is funny, this is a fun little kid show, ha ha ha, let's watch another one, haha, just to see how dumb it is, haha. And then after a while, you don't know, but it's been like 8 years and you watched the entire series and you've gone to many panels, you've dressed up as a pony, and you've also bought tons and tons of merchandise. And that's what happened to me. We all got involved in this the same way, and the cool thing about this show is that it's so wholesome and it's become a big part of my life. So much, in fact, that just recently I actually got myself a tattoo, the first one in my life. And do you want to know how much I love Princess Luna? Well, she is actually on my arm as a cutie mark. I would have never thought in my years leading up to those last 10 years that I would get a tattoo of My Little Pony on my arm. But that's how much I love this show. And if you think that's weird, that is on you, because the show is very wholesome and it is enjoyable. And if you don't think that, then maybe you're just a very sad person. So while the design of the dress is quite mesmerizing, it's still kind of plain in terms of design. It is a very simple dress, but it makes up for it in terms of its folding, its body, its shape, the multiple layers, and it's quite strong overall in that aspect. The back dress is also translucent, just like Luna's hair. Luna's hair being a very big part of her character, and it kind of moves into the dress in this design, which is really quite smart. And the rest of the body, like the legs, they're pretty normal. There's nothing really special about them. There's not really even any shading on them. Just like Rarity, Luna also supports the stiletto heel, and I believe those two are the only ones that currently have the stiletto heel. I'm sure Celestia will have one as well. This design also incorporates her miniature hooves that are in the pony version of the figure. As for the base, you have your simple round circle. There is the moon, there is stars, and there are diamonds, which is kind of funny because I think that's an inside joke, because Luna and Rarity's voice actor is the same person, which is Talitha St. Germain. They get the job done. They are solid. Like if you turn it upside down, like she's good. But I don't know, man, these bases, they could be cooler, but I mean the whole figure is really beautiful. So I think that's pretty much all you have to say about this main figure. If you're wondering, she does have underwear underneath. It's more like the pantaloon thing that you saw like on Fluttershy. Some manufacturers will just not paint it at all, so it'll just be like a different color than the rest of the body. This one does have black underwear underneath, and it has little frills on it, so they did take the time and effort in case someone were to look up there. Like me, for instance. Also, I didn't mention this before, but the horn is also quite sharp, just like Twilight's horn. Oh, and I just want to mention one more small detail. Princess Luna's fingernails are painted. I believe she's the only one that has painted nails, and I think that's another special thing they did just for her because they obviously really like Luna. Now, I fell in love with Luna's design when I first saw it, and this representation of it is fairly good. I just think that maybe the face is a little bit too wide this way. Like it seems like it's a bit too wide. It's definitely more based on the vector art than the in-game. Sorry, not in-game. It's definitely based more on the vector art than it is based on like the in-game. Say it again. The in-show version of her. So you can see that the face is a little bit more rounded right here, and then it's got that little snout. I always thought that Luna and Celestia had more of a horse-like face. So this one is actually more akin to like the pony face. So I don't think this is quite right. Also scale-wise, the other ponies are roughly about that big. I don't want to take them out of the box because they're currently in the boxes right now, but they definitely are a little bit smaller than Luna. So scale-wise, it is correct. But there's something about this one where she seems a little bit too short, or maybe her body's a little bit too scrunched. There's something different about this that I don't know what it is, and I can't place my finger on it, but something seems off with this body type. I think maybe because it just feels more scrunched. Maybe her head's too big. And I think that has to do with the big rounded head compared to like the normal, more rectangular head, I guess you could say. But this figure overall though, it's really, really nice. It has a different type of blue. This blue isn't the same blue as the one you would see like on this shirt. It's a little bit different. It's more of a really light navy color. I think in the dark, like under less light, it'd probably look nicer and it wouldn't be as noticeable. But with all this light on it, it does seem to be not as colorful as the original like show version, because the show version is more of a really vivid navy dark blue, while this one's more of a washed out gray blue. I think that's maybe probably their design choice, just so it differentiates itself from the hair. Because the hair definitely is what the color should be, so I'm assuming that they made it different to offset the hair color, and that's their choice. Then that's cool, that's fine, but I just wish it was more accurate in terms of color. This one also very sharp. But the eyes on this are just like you see in the show. Very nice. Let me just focus on there. Yeah, very nice, and it's quite nice to look at. The pose is great because it has one little leg up. You can't really think of like any singular pose that would be good. Maybe if she was doing that pointing thing she does, where she like yells at people during Nightmare Night, maybe that pose would be great, because this one is good, but it feels like it's the default pony pose. The hair on this one, like the mane and the tail, very cool. They're translucent, as I mentioned earlier. This one is not as thick as the other pony, so it's not as heavy, it's quite light. She's also quite stable on her stand as well. The sculpt does have pieces where you can see like the leg. The back legs aren't like that, they're just part of the body, so why couldn't they make this part of the body? But I'm assuming because right here, because it's so skinny, the structure would be kind of iffy and it might be really weak, so having a separate piece makes sense. I just wish they hit it better, like maybe with her wing or something, or her hair. Like on this side, it's not a big deal. It has to be pretty much facing this way, so you're gonna notice those lines on her body at all times. That's pretty much the only thing I have with this figure. The head is kind of weird, the hair is nice, the body is a little scrunched or skinny or tiny, I don't know what it is, but there's something off with the body. I still really like it, it's just that I wish it was maybe a little bit taller and the color would be a little bit more blue. That's the only thing I have problems with this figure. I think overall, sculpt wise, this one will definitely deserve a 10 out of 10, because the sculpt on this is just incredible with all the curves and the texture. Very, very cool. 10 out of 10. Paint is also quite impressive. Another 10 out of 10 for the paint, because the paint is really nice on these. Despite the color changes, it still looks really nice. There isn't anything out of place on this one. There isn't any scuffs. There isn't any missing paint. Everything is clearly drawn as it should be drawn, and everything looks fantastic. So a 10 out of 10 for paint. Now for overall appeal, this figure, whew, it looks so pretty. Like, I can't stop looking at this figure. It is so gorgeous. I might keep this one out of the box just because I like looking at Luna. There's so much going on with this figure and I love it. And this little Luna is also quite cute as well. Despite the problems I have with this figure, I do really like this. Overall appeal is definitely going to be also a 10 out of 10 for this figure. Yay! So this figure almost has a near perfect score. The only issue is just the packaging, which I always have issues with these Bishojos. So the final score of this figure is 48 out of 50, which is a very good score. It is a 96%. Once again, if you want to get a Bishoujo, get it as soon as you can, because these things sell out so damn fast and they go to like $700 aftermarket. Please pick it up now while you still can, especially if you're a big fan of Luna. I'm a huge fan of Luna. Luna's the best pony. I said it, Luna is best pony. Fight me.